Hello and welcome to a fresh new episode of Science Monitor, a program that keeps you updated on all the latest developments in the field of science and technology. Let's take a look at the top stories first. 15th All India People's Science Congress concludes in Bangalore, places thrust on developing scientific temper. Scientists decode the mystery of glass formation. Experts warn of the killer effects of cellular electromagnetic fields. And in focus today, we will discuss heat waves and the perils they pose. Development of science and technology and promotion of scientific temper are key for social change. Now, this was the crux of the 15th All India People's Science Congress that recently concluded in the IT capital Bangalore. The four-day event that saw Vice President Mohammad Hamid Ansari and several eminent scientists in attendance was all about connecting people, activists and scientists. Here is a report.
Promotion of scientific temper is a constitutional and moral duty. These were the words of Honorable Vice President Hamid Ansari as he inaugurated the 15th All India People's Science Congress in Bangalore on 22nd May. The 15th All India People's Science Congress was held in Bangalore from 22nd to 25th May. Organized by the All India People's Science Network in association with the Karnataka Rajya Vigyan Parishad and Bharat Gyan Vigyan Samiti Karnataka, the Congress this year was themed Science for Social Change. The two focal areas of the theme were self-reliant pathways to development and scientific temper in the nation. The event saw the participation of nearly 800 delegates, including scientists, technocrats, teachers, activists, and students, representing science organizations from across the country. The Congress that featured poster exhibition, film shows, and culturals also included sessions and workshops in science. Speaking on the occasion, Honorable Vice President Hamid Ansari stressed on the need of promoting education and scientific temper to overcome the challenges of poverty, ignorance, superstition, and obscurantism.
These are widespread prevalence in our society of poverty, hunger, disease, ignorance, superstition, and obscurantism. In fact, the latter three impede the eradication of the first three. In other words, to fight poverty, hunger and disease, we need to overcome ignorance, superstition and obscurantism.
Renowned scientists Professor C.N.R. Rao, Professor U.R. Rao, Chief Minister Siddaramaiah, and Minister of Science and Technology S.R. Patil also participated in the Congress. Set up in 1987, the All India People's Science Congress, shortly known as AIPSC, is a biennial conference that aims to communicate scientific and technological developments and policy-related issues. The Congress acts as a common platform bringing together activists and science forum representatives from different states to share experiences and discuss current areas of concern in science and technology policy and developments.
It looks solid and transparent, but it is actually a super-cooled liquid. Yes, glass is one of the most interesting materials known to mankind. From the most common soda glass to heat-resistant Pyrex glass and the bulletproof ballistic glass, glass today comes in many varieties. Although we know that chemically glass is made of silicates, the actual process of its formation is a mystery that has perplexed scientists for long. Now, in a breakthrough, a collaborative team from IISc JNCASR has decoded this mystery. Take a look.
Known for its aesthetic appeal, light-reflecting properties, and ability to be molded into any shape, glass as a material assumes great importance. From buildings to most modern gadgets, today a world without glass is unthinkable. Manufactured from molten limestone, sand and soda ash, glass is chemically a supercooled liquid of silicates. The glass is solid on the outside but resembles a liquid on the inside, so its structure has always been a subject of interest for the scientists. The scientists believe that the glass is formed when molten silica is cooled rapidly in such a way that the molecules end up getting frozen randomly, without forming well-defined repetitive structures as seen in other solids. But this theory of glass formation has not been verified through experiments. Now, a team of researchers from India have proved this theory by using high-end techniques. The answer has come from a joint collaborative project between Dr. Rajesh Ganapathy and his student Ms. Hima Manasa of Jawaharlal Center for Scientific Advanced Research and Professor Ajay Sood and his student Shreyas Gokhale of Indian Institute of Science.
One experiment which is very critical to this is that in the sample of colloidal particles, what we have done, we have frozen a set of particles like a wall at the end, let's say one side of the sample, and we are examining the effect of this wall on the subsequent behavior of the particles as you go away from the wall. This experiment has been done by extremely clever technique of using the optical tweezers, which means you can manipulate dielectric particles with light, and we have put almost like 250 to 300 traps to freeze this wall.
These researchers have experimentally proved the random first-order transition theory of glass formation. According to this theory, glass is formed as a result of a thermodynamic phase transition, in which the liquid molecules rearrange collectively in the form of clusters and their shape changes with temperature. While at high temperatures, these clusters are small and look like strings. At lower temperatures, they are large and look like balls.
Our strategy over the last 4.5 years has been to develop a model system. So the model system of choice for us has been colloidal particles. So these are about 1 micrometer. Micrometer is basically about 50 times thinner than the human hair. And since it is much bigger, it's about 1,000 times to 10,000 times bigger than an atom, what it means is that we can just use a simple optical microscope to see what's going on. And what this has allowed us to do is to actually look at how single particles move in a glass, how they relax. And what we've been able to show from our recent experiments is that in colloidal particles, apart from the fact that you can also see them, you can also manipulate them using light fields like laser tweezers. And by using laser tweezers, what we've been able to do is to basically freeze a configuration of particles and ask the question about how far does the influence of this frozen configuration permeate into the glass, permeate into the liquid.
The IISc, JNC SAR have for the first time proved this thermodynamic theory of glass formation. Using techniques like holographic optical tweezers and video microscopy, the team has been able to pin down a large number of particles of a colloidal glass-forming liquid. The molecules were simultaneously pinned in a particular configuration for hours to study the glass dynamics, a very rare and difficult feat. The findings of the study have been published in the prestigious journal Nature Physics and offer deep insight into the physics of glass formation.
An hour without your cell phone or a day without the laptop seems like an impossibly difficult task in this day and age, doesn't it? But did you know that as we chat endlessly on our mobile phones or send text messages, the electromagnetic field emanating from these devices may be slowly killing us? In this report, we take a look at the killer effects of the harmful electromagnetic fields.
Researchers around the world are being increasingly concerned by the possible effects of electromagnetic radiation from the wireless gadgets and communication towers on the human health. In this context, nearly 200 scientists have submitted an appeal to the United Nations in the month of May. The International EMF Scientist Appeal asked the UN, its member states and the World Health Organization to provide leadership in limiting electromagnetic radiation exposure and to educate the public about its health risks. Gadgets like cell phones are increasingly becoming an unavoidable part of our daily lives. But the radiation from these gadgets, as well as communication towers, may lead to obesity, autism, and stillbirths, according to the researchers who are studying the effects of electromagnetic radiation on cells. Experts suggest minimal use of wireless gadgets and turning off cell phones and wireless devices when not in use to reduce the harmful effects of electromagnetic emissions. Scientists believe that constant electromagnetic radiation from communication towers could also cause neurological, cardiac, and respiratory disorders and higher cancer rates. Electromagnetic radiations refer to the different forms of radiant energy released by certain electromagnetic processes. Electromagnetic radiations are made of waves which are synchronized oscillations of electric and magnetic fields that propagate at the speed of light. Electromagnetic radiations include visible light and other invisible types of radiation like X-rays, UV rays, infrared radiations, radio waves, etc.
Gleaming white marble, majestic minarets and excellent craftsmanship makes Taj Mahal one of the 7 wonders of the world. But centuries of exposure to pollution has had its effect on this majestic monument. As the white marble shows signs of yellowing, let us discuss the reasons behind it and also how could it be stopped.
Taj Mahal, the wonder that attracts millions of travelers every year to India. But is pollution slowly eating its way into the gleaming white marbles of the Taj? Experts have every reason to fear so, as the historic monument slowly turns yellow. The chief culprits behind this yellowing process are the smoke from a cemetery near the monument and harmful gases from the sewer lines surrounding the Taj. According to the experts, the dust particles and carbon gases emitted from the burning of biomass at the cemetery every day, along with poisonous gases arising from the nearby sewer and the polluted river Yamuna, settle on the white marble of the Taj Mahal, causing it to turn yellow. As a result, despite the elaborate efforts taken up to beautify the Taj and the rupees 650 crore project starting from 1998 to restore the monument, Taj continues to yellow.
धूल के कणों की वजह से ये सेटल हुई धूल के कणों की वजह से ये पीलापन इसके ऊपर आता है और उसको हटाने की प्रक्रिया हम लोगों की एक क्रमबद्ध तरीके से चलती रहती है। इसकी वजह से कुछ पोर्शंस में सफाई हो जाती है, लेकिन उसके बाद फिर से क्योंकि ये डिपोजिशन की जो प्रक्रिया है, सूट डिपोजिशन, कार्बन पार्टिकल डिपोजिशन और एसपीएम के डिपोजिशन की, ये भी एक सतत प्रक्रिया है जो वातावरण से हमेशा उसके ऊपर सेटल होती रहती है।
Yellowing of marble is a complicated process. Over the years, the highly polished surface of marble tends to wear off, making the surface rough. The rough surfaces and the pores easily accumulate dirt and turn yellow. Besides, natural gases like methane and natural compounds like iron react with the marble, resulting in its oxidation. The yellowing of Taj has raised serious concerns among public and experts and calls for immediate action.
Welcome back. After the break, you're watching Science Monitor. Let us now have a look at some important science and technology activities happening in India and abroad in our segment Science Express.
Urging in a new era of mind-controlled prosthetic limbs. Surgeons from Keck Medicine of the University of Southern California have discovered a new procedure that allows paralyzed patients to control robotic limbs through neural prosthetic devices. The procedure consists of implanting neural prosthetic devices or microelectrodes in the specific part of the patient's brain that controls the intent to move. These neural prosthetics, which are connected to computers, determine the patient's intent, allowing him to control robotic prosthetics. The procedure has been successfully tested on a 34-year-old quadriplegic patient, Eric Soto. Adding to India's defense technology, Indian Navy's latest anti-submarine warfare class stealth corvette, the INS Kavaratti, is an indigenously built warship under India's Project 28 and the last of the 4 anti-submarine warfare class stealth corvettes. The corvette, with a displacement of 3,300 tons, has a length of 109.1 meters and measures 13.7 meters at beam. The corvette, with a displacement of 3,300 tons, has a length of 109.1 meters and measures 13.7 meters at beam. It is capable of fighting in nuclear, chemical and biological warfare conditions. The warship has been designed by the Directorate of Naval Design and built by Garden Reach shipbuilders and engineers under the contract for the construction of 4 P-28 ships that was signed in June 2012. The total cost of the project is $1.2 billion US. A mango orchard in Alirajpur district of Madhya Pradesh has become a huge tourist attraction for its rare mango, which is called Noor Jahan. The gigantic mango, which weighs over 4 kilograms, grows up to 1 feet in length and up to 19 inches in breadth. Because of its size, the fruit is fast gaining popularity not only in India but overseas as well. As animal lovers across the world celebrated the World Turtle Day on 23rd May, Indian activists have drawn the attention to the illegal export of turtles. This illegal activity is leading to a decline in the turtle population of the country. The bell was rung by environmentalist Chandrasekhar from Coimbatore in Tamil Nadu, who has brought attention to the smuggling of turtles for their flesh, which is believed to have some medicinal value. According to the activist, the population of star turtles that are known to play a crucial role in improvising soil fertility is under rapid decline. The World Turtle Day is organized every year on 23rd May by the American Tortoise Rescue to bring attention to conservation of turtles and tortoises.
With the temperature soaring over 45 degrees and India reeling in the grip of a distressing heat wave, reports of fatalities are abound. With the stifling heat already having claimed over 1,200 lives in less than a week, Indians are awaiting monsoons eagerly. So what exactly is a heat wave and what you can do to stay protected this summer? Well, let's explore the answers to these questions in our next segment, In Focus.
With temperatures soaring over 45 degrees in most of the major cities and touching as high as 47 degrees in the state of Andhra Pradesh and Odisha, the vicious grip of severe heat wave seems to be tightening on India during the past week. A state of panic prevails. According to the reports, more than 1,000 people have succumbed to the heat during the past week alone, and incidents of the heat strokes and other illnesses are on the rise. While hospitals are on alert and citizens look forward to a respite, forecasts warn that the situation may continue for a few more days. A heat wave refers to a prolonged period of excessive heat, often combined with excessive humidity. Heat waves are formed when high pressure up in the air strengthens and remains over a region for several days or up to several weeks. As a result, dry and hot air is brought to the ground.
Heat waves are the phenomena which is related with the maximum temperature, and it is a summer phenomena from the month of the March onwards, March, April, May and till June. Here on some days the maximum temperature becomes very high. So for declaring a heat wave, the first condition is that the maximum temperature for that station should cross 40 degrees centigrade. And after crossing 40 degrees centigrade, if it is above normal by 5 degrees centigrade or 4 degrees centigrade or 6 degrees centigrade, then we call it a heat wave condition.
As the air sinks, it warms and compresses and is very hot by the time it reaches the surface. This hot air quickly heats up the ground, which further raises the air temperature. Since the high pressure areas are usually cloud-free, the direct sunlight further raises daytime temperatures. According to climate experts, the prevailing heat wave in India is a result of extremely hot and dry westerly winds blowing in from Pakistan's Sindh province across the northern and central plains of India. While sweltering heat and profuse sweating are just the primary reactions to heat waves, the dangerous effects of heat waves on health are many and sometimes lethal. Dehydration due to excess loss of salt and water from the body is the most common result of heat wave. It is important to note that excess dehydration can also lead to death. Hyperthermia, also known as heat stroke, becomes commonplace during this weather. Heat stroke is characterized by symptoms like high body temperature, irritability, alteration in sweating, nausea and vomiting, flushed skin, rapid breathing, increased heart rate, headache, etc.
The main problem which it causes is that one can have heat stroke when one goes out, and also there could be all kinds of infections because of contaminated water and food. So one could get diarrhea or typhoid or hepatitis, jaundice, etc. Essentially water. You need to use water and salt. So you should drink a lot of water, especially if you are going out in the sun. You should take water. You can have fruits. You can have fruits like watermelon and muskmelon. So those are rich in water and they give energy also. You can have lemon water, nimbu pani, which can gives you salt as well as some potassium also. So all those things should be taken, and one should try to avoid exposing oneself to direct sun for a long time. One should try to cover the body as much as possible.
While staying indoors is the best protection against heat wave, here are some expert tips to beat the heat. Stay well hydrated. A lot of health problems that can develop during a heat wave are associated with dehydration. So it's crucial to make sure you drink plenty of water. Even if you don't feel thirsty, keep taking regular sips. Avoid drinks with a lot of caffeine such as coffee, tea and alcohol. It is also important to replenish the lost salts and glucose. If you have to venture outdoors, protect yourself from the sun's harmful UV rays by covering up with light, loose clothing, umbrellas and hats. Remember that sunscreens are not just cosmetics. They go a long way in protecting the skin from harmful rashes and even cancer. According to experts, occasionally soaking your feet in cold water and regularly misting yourself with water keeps the body cool. Experts also suggest keeping curtains and blinds closed during the day to block the heat and direct sunlight, and using reflective sunshades in the cars. Lights, laptops, cooking appliances and other electric gadgets all produce heat. Avoid using them during the hottest part of the day. Continually running electric fans may actually blow hot air, so if you're not in the room, switch it off. Estimates suggest that there has been an increasing trend in high humidity heat waves in the past 3 to 4 decades, which are characterized by the persistence of extremely high nighttime temperature. According to the Indian Meteorological Department, over the past half century, that is from 1961 to 2010, heat waves have increased by a third. Weather patterns are changing throughout the world. But this unusually extreme heat wave, which is expected to be more intense and frequent in nature, poses the question, are we finally witnessing the harms of degrading environment? The answer is definitely in the affirmative. But what are we doing? To not make it worse is what matters the most.
Well, that is all for this episode of Science Monitor. Do tell us how do you like our program. You can send your feedback and suggestions to our email ID, that is news@vigyanprasar.gov.in. You can also write into us at Vigyan Prasar C24, Qutub Institutional Area, New Delhi 110016. Well, that is all from me for today. We'll be back with fresh news stories on science and technology again next week. Till then, stay tuned to Rajya Sabha TV and think scientific. Bye-bye.